I've already got my cup of water. You run the intro, Scott. I'm gonna get a little Madrinas in my cup, and we're gonna be smooth sailing.
Hell yeah. Your shirt?
Yeah, it's a Twitch thing. I got this in like 2017 from TwitchCon.
Okay.
And it actually was really cool. My old roommate like drew all these designs on it and did permanent marker, like a really nice looking So Bad Strange. But then I washed it and it all went away. Now it's
How dare
trash.
you do your laundry? How dare you?
Yeah, I fucked up. I should have had that shirt covered in goblin grease. Would have been all right forever.
Oh yeah. Hello.
Hello. I have some energy and some agendas. I'm feeling good and looking good as always, as you are both.
Oh yeah.
Last week I was sleepy as shit. Now I'm sleeping. I'm feeling good. I know that the HR leaderboards are like some distance away. That's not today. And I know when that happens, as I've now decided to become a cleric for the HR leaderboard grind for the goblins. I feel like there's not gonna be a lot of competition. And I just get to hang back and I can watch Nate, world rank 1 wizard do wizard things and sweat. Trios is already as dangerous as can be. Early into the wipe, I dropped into HR. I raced to level 15, and it was safe. It was fun. I actually met another player with VoIP who had a golden key, and together we looted the Coliseum treasure hoard. At which point I realized that they ninja nerfed the treasure hoards. You can't really indefinitely loot them anymore, which I personally like.
Yeah,
So
let's
what is it
dive into
with
that
the
a little bit
ninja
more.
nerf?
One of these ninja nerfs are awesome, man. I love Iron Mace, just doesn't give an F. They give us like a huge list of patch notes, and then they're just like, and there's a bunch of other stuff you just have to find. I kind of like
Yeah.
that.
We just forgot to write it down. Actually, that's what is more.
Oh, they
more like.
forgot? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. BT dubs.
So tell us more
But
about
also-
that nerf. That's one of our action items here, or agenda items rather. What precisely is the treasure hoard nerf that you're referencing?
All right, so the treasure hoard is no longer infinitely lootable, which I've been asking for a long time. My community also asked for it. The economy was out of whack and way out of balance. And so a lot of people made suggestions from the Sweat Discord to the veteran chat. And one of the big suggestions was that we limit the uses. And a lot of people said 10. I personally like that number. I think that it makes it way more viable for solos to go get rich. Duos have a good chance. Trios, you're not really going to make a lot of money. So surprisingly, though, even this early into the wipe, the gold keys are already priced in at $12.50 to $1,500. And cool little bit of news. Tigris came into my Twitch chat earlier and announced that he sold at auction the very first viola of the wipe, the artifact viola. He sold it for 35 golden keys.
Damn. Dude.
Holy
That is
moly.
60,000 gold. He is done with the wipe.
What's that? Is that Matt checkout? It's like 45,000. I'll let it slide.
You let it slide. That probably is 45,000. Yeah.
So wait,
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, in all of that I missed, is 10 the number, or is that just the number you suggested? Is 10 the max number of times the treasure hoard can be looted?
I'm gonna be really honest. I don't know the science behind it. I feel like it is 10. Maybe it's RNG. Maybe it's like 6 to 10. Maybe somebody in Twitch chat knows. But I haven't really been doing a lot of trio high rolling. To be honest, I barely went in there at all. I wiped about 5 rounds in a row. Like I said, after the initial friendly encounters, I finally dropped with the trio, and Matt Gons killed us in our spawn box within like 20 seconds. They just barded their way over with little songs and music, and then Matt was on Ranger, pretty much one shot all of us with a purple longbow. Rangers obviously super oppressive this wipe, and now the return of magic as well means wizards and clerics at mid and long range are going to be devastating.
Yeah, so the day after we did, we after we did episode 2, day after is when they nerfed, and I asked you guys. I basically said, curious to get your feedback. Ken put one thing in the chat. Within 6 hours, I think, maybe 4 hours. You gave it the old college try, and he put 2 words in response to my let me know how it goes. Wizard unplayable. Direct quote.
It was. There was a window there, like, however many days, 3, 4, 5 days, where they just halved all the magic damage, and you still had 75 HP. So playing Wizard was just not a thing. You could do it, and you would just hate yourself. So we played Barbarian for a couple days. It was fun.
Always a good choice.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been playing Barbarian actually, mostly Barbarian this wipe. It's been actually a blast. I might push the leaderboards on Barbarian. I'm not sure on that yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
gonna
sure.
give a little competition to Nerric at the top.
Yeah, you just get to run around with 200 HP and 50 damage mitigation with a War Maul, by the way.
And Iron Will.
War Maul is buffed.
resistant.
War Maul is so good right now. It has 30% armor pen. You could just eat these fighters alive. It doesn't even matter. You just roll up. You just hit 3 people with 1 swing. Maybe hit a 4th person, probably your teammate. Doesn't matter. You're killing everything though. The War Maul is super good. Sorry, just small tangent.
How difficult is it to break down doors with the Maul? I guess you can have a second weapon set, right, for breaking down doors, but can you do it?
It can be done. You can right click and it's okay. But usually you bring like a felling or something in your secondary just for doors. Make it easier.
How about those drums?
No,
door breaking, chest breaking, boss killing, player annihilating meta.
It's nerfed. It's gone, dude. I got it nerfed. I remember I started that stream. I made my level 1 Drumbarian. And I'm like, I'm making this character with the goal of getting drums nerfed. And then I fell in love with the drums. I fell in love with the drums so much. And they got removed. I can't throw drums anymore in my Barbarian. So we're going to have to level up Bard at some point.
Yep. I will never forget mining with you guys at like 2 a.m. last wipe and just throwing drums. And we went from 1 drum to 3 to 6 to like 9 each. And that was magnificent. That was probably the funnest episode of Dark and Darker I've ever had. And every night when I ended my stream, I would get on the drum barb and I would just slaughter. It was mayhem. Rip the drums. F for drums.
I kind of wish they handled it a little bit differently. I kind of wish they just like nerfed the damage that drums do and not remove them from classes and have them not be throwable anymore. Because even if they're not effective, it's still just fun to throw. Even if they do 0 damage.
Hey, what's up, Kiss?
I would still just want one just to throw people and disrespect them in a way.
Disrespect them.
But
yeah, what's next on the hot list, Scott? What do we got?
All kinds of stuff. Balancing. Maybe it's a good time to talk a little bit about balancing. We did it pretty exhaustively last time, so let's try to keep it relatively brief. Just, I guess we'll do the delta. What are the balance changes that we've seen since we did our entire breakdown last episode?
Yes, I mean, go ahead.
Bard mainly, right?
I think the game feels relatively balanced.
Relatively balanced.
Relatively balanced, with the exception of Rangers.
With the exception of Rangers and Rogue Invisibility. I think those are the only 2 hot ticket items for me right now.
Rogue Invisibility, I haven't heard. What are you feeling about that?
That needs to be nerfed. It needs to make a sound. Or
when they go invisible
potions. Yep, it is way too strong right now because rogues out of invisibility can basically 2 or 3 shot any class in the game, and the circle forces you to a point. And so all the rogue has to do is sit somewhere and listen soundlessly. And as soon as they hear something, they go invisible without making any noise, and they can wait there for like 40 seconds and then just dominate and destroy somebody. Plus, they can move 10 feet or what have you without breaking their invis. So I just think right now the rogue ambush is no class can outplay that. In trios, you can talk about wizards with light orb, bard, bard. You can play music, but as far as solos goes, invisibility has to go, and it needs a noise. They can already move, and it already takes like if you hear the noise, you would know somebody was invisible in the room. You wouldn't know where they were. They could be moving, etc. But right now, there's no noise. There's no indicators at all. It's just like a camping magnet. And
so are you in favor of an audio cue for both when they go invis and when they break stealth?
No, I think 2 cues is too much. I just think when they go into stealth, it should make a noise, almost like rogues from World of Warcraft or something like cooge or like whoosh, like some little noise. Because for instance, what happened to me just now in HR Goblin is I heard somebody drink a blue potion on the other side of the door, somewhere in the module. I buffed, I opened the door, I walked in, I looked around, I was like, I don't know, was that below me or above me? I'm not sure. I took like 2 steps. and now I'm massacred before I can really even react. They're just faster than me. They swing faster than me. All the other things that they're good at. I just got deleted, and I just thought there's no counterplay for that. Like I just basically, if you hear any noise, you have to just not go in there for like a minute. And I don't agree with that system.
I
It's too
will.
strong.
Yeah, I'll touch on that. I agree and disagree in a way. I feel like rogue stealth. I think rogues in general are fundamentally not great for the game. I feel like rogues as a class create the highest number of feel bad moments for other players, and a lot of those moments are related to stealth and getting ambushed. And like in a 12-minute long match, you don't have time to wait out a 40-second stealth, or you just have to go into it. You just like have to avoid a room completely if you think a rogue is there. Because if a rogue does get the jump on you, 9 times out of 10 they will win. And these rogues are doing this like they're playing stealth in a room with no kit on and a green rondelle, and they can kill you fully kitted. So they could do this without really risking much. And I don't know what the solution is. I'm not sure if giving him an audio cue. I mean, would probably help, but I feel like it might make the rogue class too weak. They might have to give them some other kind of compensation. I'm not sure. But stealth in general and ambush in general is like the main source of feel bad moments in Dark and Darker for a lot of players, especially as from your solo play perspective. A lot of classes don't have ways to find rogues that are stealth. Like I have Light Orb if I want. Bards have Din. Clerics have a War Maul. That gets them out of stealth usually.
A war maul. Yeah, but you would have to know they were there to even want to swing.
I know.
Attacking the corners.
The point I'm saying is that a lot of classes don't have a way to deal with that.
Yeah.
Or maybe there could be some. Maybe the lantern. A lantern can reveal them. I don't know.
And then
that would be interesting.
Moving forward to Rangers, I think they're oppressive.
The numbers are just too high.
The numbers are too high.
Pen is too high.
A white longbow just destroys like everybody. When you get to green and purple and blue, they're like 2 and 3 shotting most classes from like any range.
From a play style, they're fine. They just have to lower the numbers a bit. That's all it is.
Just lower the numbers a bit.
I think so too.
Like 15% damage nerf, like all the way across the board. Like windlasses and longbows
and traps. I hate traps.
Did you say 15? 15%? Was that your recommendation? You didn't say 50.
15%.
15? Okay.
Let's try that, and then we can like peel back to like 12 or 10%.
Knowing
Iron Mace, they're
100% damage reduction.
80% damage gone. You're now melee enjoyers.
Get a spear, you filthy animals.
God, the spear is good though. Spear is really good. I was watching some of Spuddy's stream this morning, man. He was just tearing it up with the spear and longbow.
Spear's super good.
And he's got his traps, so he's got the claymores out. He's got the sniper's nest ready to go. And if they push, climbing a ladder, they're gonna get killed. It's like a siege.
Just a quick backtrack to the beginning when you said you were gonna play Cleric for the high roller. What made you decide on Cleric? You're the wizard, not the wizard guy, the Warlock guy.
It was, well, first of all, the nerf, the lack of drums on my Warlock melee build makes that build almost untenable now. Like with the increase in magic damage, it means we're basically losing any trade against wizards, any trade against clerics, and any trade against rangers. It's a great build for normal goblins. The melee Warlock build, the Shadow Vampire, is destructive because there's not a lot of range. It's a lot of corners, a lot of monsters. It can really get in there and destroy. But going HR Gobbo with it, I was just losing to like every ranger. I was losing to every wizard. They're just hasting and spelling. And so I decided, especially with the healing changes, right? It's like it's pretty hard to get your health back right now. If you get hit by one zap or one arrow, you've already lost the trade. You're like 15 to 25% of your health is gone. You can't get that back. You basically just have to fight at that point. It's challenging to reset. And so I started thinking of a way where Cleric is. I don't know, man. Like they brought the stats back for Wizard and Cleric to have 100% attribute bonus to damage, and they gave us +3 all. So in my opinion, +3 all helps Wizards and Clerics the most of any class in the game. And so I started trying to think of a build that could sustain itself and move quickly and not have any downtime. And I came up with what I like to call the Nope Pope, which is a little Cleric build. You don't want to get hit by Judgment. You don't want to get hit by Earthquake, and you definitely don't want to get hit by Divine Strike. And all 3 of those are mid-range to /long-range destroyers. So I don't know, man. I've lived like Probably of all my HR goblins in the last 2 days, I've died maybe 3 times.
Holy cow.
And like it just trades everything. And like I don't know, man. The range on Divine Strike is pretty nuts. Earthquake does insane damage.
Are you
Judgment
talking
slows
about
and does
Holy
damage.
Strike? You're saying
Holy
Divine
Strike.
Strike. You mean Holy
Holy
Strike, right?
excuse me. Holy Strike, yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah.
And then I also have Divine Weapon. So I have Divine Weapon and Protection and Heal. So it's like I have 3 self buffs and 3 offensive magical spells. I'm really destructive, man. I feel like this build it might be one of the best builds I've ever made.
Yeah, I think
I'm just controlling Goblin. Like everyone has to run from me. No one can really pressure it. And so I'm ready to leaderboard. I think that as far as leaderboards go, Clerics probably have some of the least kills in solo Goblin of any of the classes. And so I kind of like to think like what's not meta and how do I get it there? That way my competition is low. Because I know like people like Nate, right? He's competing against all the other wizards in the world. Every wizard build is offensive killing power, you know, other than like your utility buffer. And so I just think for Nate, like he's got to sweat to be rank 1. I don't really have to sweat that much in Goblin. I feel like Cleric, low competition, high yield.
I think you're right. That's a good point. I might join you in there. I started out, just to kind of piggyback on that. I started with my Cleric again. Had probably the best first day of wipe ever. Was level 15 by the time we finished our first 24 hours. And then I wanted to take a break from kind of grinding, and it was initially kind of a meme idea, like, hey, I've never really truly tried the Cleric Brawler thing. So I started a new character, affectionately named Peter Puncher, Arcane Peter Puncher, APP. APP at level 1, only taking Brewmaster, was slaughtering people with Judgment and Smite and just buying 6 beers. So it's a 6 beer eco build, $6, 6 gold, 6 1 gold beers. And I was going in and just punching people out in the normal goblin caves, and I was having a blast doing it. Just an absolute ball. So yeah, I feel like Cleric has so many options. I think you're 100% right. There's not a lot of people that are trying to go for the solo leaderboards with kills, thinking they're going to get a bunch of kills. You know, if that's the category they're going for, they're typically not doing that with Cleric. That's a good call out.
Yeah, Clerics might be the strongest class right now, besides Ranger. I feel like they benefit the most from the all attribute changes, which we are going to touch on here pretty soon. They definitely gain the most from +3 all attributes on gear, with the exception of maybe Wizard. But kind of use that as a segue. How do you guys feel about them bringing back +3 all attributes to green items? Apparently,
really, I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's miserable. It's on everything. Every
chest you
really.
Wow. I think that's got to go. Let's go back to +2, +1 like that. It's really buff, especially for my Cleric. And however, I will say that this playtest compared to playtests in the past, the values of the items are way better. Like I can't really sell anything right now. I think everybody's poor, but like if you get a +3 all, you basically, no matter what item it is, it's like 400 gold or more. So it is kind of cool that you can get a really rare, like nice piece of gear, and it just paid for your entire set. You know, just one piece can pay for your whole set. So that part I like, and I think with the economy changes and rebalancing to treasure hoard, it's kind of nice to have those like really rare items that feel great to get. And when I see it on like a legendary or an artifact, I just know that's like a 10,000 or more piece, basically. I already saw a like a 6 Agi pendant with +3 all, and I just thought that's so many gold keys. I don't even know, like that's like a max roll for a rogue.
I'm not 100% against +3 all attributes, but I definitely don't think it should be on green items. I definitely don't think it should be on blue items. Maybe purples, and then like maybe have it be exclusively on legendaries and like the high end items, because like those are premium stats. But when you just have a +3 all attributes Oracle robe that's green, and that's like best in slot for a wizard or best in slot for a cleric, you're like, my gear shouldn't be capping out at the green level. I shouldn't be like, oh, I have a green item now, I'm set. That's not how it should be. They should really at least tone it down for the greens and blues.
I don't know. I think the gear gap is already immense, and you can still get the +3 all at the upper levels. So it's kind of nice that the lowest tier of gameplay can get enough gear to fight the highest tiers of gameplay. So that part I like. I think if it's going to be anywhere, it should be everywhere. I don't think we should limit it to like high roller. because the high roller stuff already has good stats. Like it already goes up to +6, +6 strength. Then you get +3 all on top of that. That's already insane. So like at the bottom tiers, at least give us like +2 strength, +3 all. So like for me, it's either on everything or they need to get rid of it.
It feels like +3 all attributes is more common than like +3 strength on things or +3 int. It makes no sense. I think they mess up the numbers because it feels like a mistake.
I think you have streamer luck. I've only found like one piece naturally, and then like 1 or 2 in PvP.
Yeah, start open up some lion's eye chests, my man. Some golden chests there.
There's not a lot of golden chests around outside of HR.
You gotta kill some wraiths.
All right, there's no wraiths on the goblin map.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, it's a solo issue. Cooking.
That's funny though. All right, what else we got to talk about?
Duo queue.
Oh, Duo queue.
Oh yeah, Duo queue. I love that.
So did they say that's coming tomorrow? Is that tomorrow?
That's coming tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I love that. I've been asking for Duo queue for ruins like forever. I think if we're gonna have a solo and a trio, we might as well have a duo. Just make.
You think that's
duo.
where it's going? Ruins is going to be duo.
Like the map's already easy, and there's not like a ton of loot to be had there. Just put a couple more teams there. It makes the PvP funner. It makes it interesting. Gives duos a place to go. I think if you do duos on crypts, you have to rebalance like bosses and classes.
You got all kinds of issues there. I think so. Yeah,
like, it makes sense. Like ruins is like the kind of easiest map. It's the intermediary map. That's duos.
It's the natural choice. I agree. The only reason I slightly disagree is just the pure size and scale of it. But maybe that isn't really that valid of an argument. What you said is the most important thing for sure, that changing crypts to duos, then you got to rebalance Inferno around a 2-player party. That's an issue. Unless you're going to flip and put the portals on ruins and portals down, no longer having portals down in crypts, and you can only take portals to hell through ruins. That would be kind of interesting.
Oh, it would also be cool if they did crypt duos, but you can't go to Inferno. It's just duo crypt. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to beat the dead horse. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum. Nate's a big proponent of this, not splitting up the player base. So, putting duo queue on an existing map that's already splitting the player base makes sense to me. We'll go ahead and double down on it. Yeah.
We're not really splitting anything at that point. If anything, you're adding trios to crypts.
You lost me there.
Yeah, explain that one, Josh.
Well, like right now, the trios are going to ruins, right? And so crypt naturally has less trios, and so if we make ruins duos,
I see.
Then
duos
the
only
will go crypt.
Yeah, I got you.
Like there'll be more people in crypt that are trios, and then duos will just be like a fun.
So you're saying make ruins exclusively duos, no trios?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's what I meant at the beginning. I make ruins duos only, like no trios there at all anymore. Just swap the queue. I also think it's going to be fun. I think solos will go ruins. I think you can 1v2 in this game, but I think when you start talking about 1v3,
for sure,
it's way too hard. It's way too tough. Yeah. Of course, it's doable, but like it's situational. It's gear based.
I've always had a bit of a hot take on this. I think Goblin Caves. I think Ruin. I think they were both mistakes. I don't think they should be in the game. I think you just have solo, duo, trio, crypts, and then just scale the bosses for solo, duo, trio on crypts.
One map.
Holy
shit, that's a hot take. That's spicy.
But you got to think that the crypts are supposed to be procedurally generated every time, so they're supposed to be different. The goal the Iron Mace has is that the crypt map, the dungeon map, will be different every time you load into it. We're not there yet, so I feel like they're kind of just giving us supplements in the meantime. I think they gave us Goblin Caves to make solo players happy, but I feel like Crypts is an easier solo map if you're just against other solos in Crypt. Am I wrong with that?
I agree with that. Goblin is tough, and HR Goblin is super tough.
I don't think you get rid of Goblin Caves and Ruins as a whole, but I think you get rid of them as the base map types and maybe kind of have them as event maps. Like, it's the Ruins weekend. It's the Goblin weekend. We can, and they can have them as one-offs every now and then for variants, but you consolidate your player base on the Crypts maps and like the Coliseum for High Roll or whatever. And you have solo, duo, trio for that, or quadro, maybe somewhere in the future. And I know it's a hot take. I know.
My chat said the pitchfork and torch stocks are on the rise right now.
Yeah,
I agree. Burn Nate out of his wizard tower on his high hill above the crypts.
Come on, Crypts is the best map, and everybody knows it.
It is. It's not even close, really. Ruins is beautiful. Goblin Caves is starting to grow on me a little bit because I was rolling it quite a bit to play Peter Puncher, but yeah, Crypts is definitely the best.
Goblin Caves is a way of life. Like, you got to get greasy. You got to slide between monsters and like double crouch jump over trap. Like, it is cool in there.
But let's be real, Scott. You're going to Goblin Caves not because you like the map, but because you want to play solo. If you had the option to solo queue for Crypts, I feel like you would probably go for that.
100% I would. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Goblin Caves is smaller, and the spawn rushing there is super easy. And if I want to try to get in there and just brawl and punch out the first person I see, Goblin Caves is the most effective thing to do that. I will definitely try it on Crypts, but I'm gonna get my ass handed to me if I do that. But in Goblin Caves, I've got a legit shot. I'm winning even at like level 1 and 2, like 50% plus of the fights, and I'm still bad at it. Like, give me a little time, and I'll win a lot more, and especially at higher levels when I've got all the perks. And I've run it both on my higher level Cleric and then like the level 1, level 2 Cleric. The higher level Cleric definitely helps having the protection from evil, having the armor perk, and then having perseverance, like the damage reduction you get from all of that pays dividends big time when you're, because I just roll naked. I strip my armor off, strip the pants off. If I can find some boots, I'll throw those on. If I can find some gloves, I throw those on. And then that's it. And then you're running smite and either judgment, or if you're running spells, you're running bless, divine strike, and then you're drinking beer and you're punching for what, 45, 50 points damage minimum. So
not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Peter Puncher,
and you're fast. Nobody expects the cleric to be fast, man. Like, I'm rolling up on people with a little speed. If I had rings, that would make it really fun. But I'm just trying it out, just kind of testing the build from the complete new player perspective, and it's been a ton of fun. No, but yes, great. Back to your point, Nate, I would go 100%. I would go to Crypts if it was solo only.
Yeah, I just feel like splitting the player base is bad, and I feel like consolidating it all to Crypts would be good. I understand people love the Crypt or love the Goblin Caves, and people love the Ruins, and I think the Ruins is actually a pretty cool map. It is, and it was originally designed to be a part of the main map, like being B1 and then go Crypts B2 and Inferno B3, but we kind of went away from that.
Yeah, we drifted.
So I'm not sure. Maybe we retire the map for now and bring it back for whenever they figure that stuff out.
I would be down to retire Ruins. I don't think that's a bad idea. With Crypt as trios, Goblin as solos. I don't know. I just think if we add one more map, then we're splitting the player base. Like, one more map in rotation is split, unless we make that an event map, like you're talking about. Like, let's do Goblin solos, Ruins duos, Crypt trios, and then we have like the, I don't know, Dwarven Fortress, and it only comes Friday to Sunday, and it's got like 25% boosted loot, and it costs like 25 gold per player to go in there. It's like, it's not high roller, it's not normal. It's just like, it always costs 25 gold to take a wagon to the Dwarven Fortress. And it's like 24 players.
We're riding the slippery slope though. Riding the slippery slope there, I think, already. So if we give duos, we've got HR. So the player base is split 5 ways right now, right? You've got HR for Crypts, HR for Gabo, and then 3 normal maps. So we got 5-way splits going.
Okay. If
we give duos to Ruins, the next thing that people are going to ask for is, we want duo rank queues. So now you've got HR Ruins. Yep. Now we're split 6 ways.
Ruins. You're right.
So we are on the slippery slope path right now. So I do like reining it in a little bit. I think the event-based stuff is definitely the way to go. Figure out
we could rotate HR. Like, rotate it so
that's
there's
an interesting idea.
Yeah, like each day is a new HR, and then you have to do like one of the other HRs or go norms to farm or something. But I don't know, that sounds slippery slope too.
Well, maybe not daily. So actually, the idea of rotations is not bad actually. I wouldn't hate that. Like, say you just have your Crypts, Ruins, Goblin Caves, whatever, but only one map is active at a time. Like, this week we're in Crypt rotation now, dude. Now we're in Gabo rotation. Now we're in the Coliseum rotation. That's not bad. There might be something there to that idea.
Yeah, there's probably something there. Speaking of maps and rotations and such, So now we're like looking like we're going back to Steam, and then we're gonna go back to consoles. Do we think that consoles and PC are going to be compatible, or do they have their own maps and their own player base, or like can we have crossplay?
I think
hope
they're going
not.
crossplay. I
Like
100%
I
think
feel
they're
like the
going
game
for
is
crossplay.
cross-playable, especially on the melee classes.
All right,
Like I don't want aim assist, but like
name one
maybe
game
like a
that's done
little bit.
crossplay well. Name one game that's done crossplay well.
Rocket League.
I think Fortnite.
Fuck.
Rocket League has
Bullshit
done
games.
I thought Fortnite was fine.
How dare you, sir?
No,
How
Rocket League's
dare
good.
you?
I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry, I'm
my.
sorry. People are gonna kill me for saying that.
No, I
Also,
can't
don't
think
know
of
if you
many
guys
other
saw the
ones. So
news.
I can't think of many other ones.
Point being, there's a lot of games that mess up by going cross platform. A lot of games.
What's
do it
the worst
poorly.
example you got? Go to the opposite end. I think Rocket League did it right. What's the worst?
Spellbreak, Rust, Path of Exile. It's the 3 off the top of my head.
Why can't PoE? PoE doesn't even have PvP. Why would
they just tried it? It just was miserable.
Yeah, but Iron Mace is like the best at everything. So like they'll find a way. Give them the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't think we talked about it last week, and stop me if we had. But Iron Mace just penned a deal. They just signed a contract. I'm guessing like 100 million or more, where they just guaranteed rights for a mobile Dark and Darker.
I saw the mobile thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's really cool. I feel like if it's going to be like Elder Scrolls did like the little iPad, sort of Morrowind-esque thing, a little dungeon delving experience where you like build up your little town. It was all single player for the most part, I think. Maybe there were some 1v1s, but I feel like there's a lot of elements of mobile that we could do in this game. If we make it so we can buy and sell on the trade post and it's linked to our stash, then I could just like lay in bed and just trade guild.
Yeah, if I could trade guild from the phone, that'd be cool, actually.
Yeah, like I actually could just have my iPad up as like my second screen, and I can just watch Trade Guild even when I'm like camping in the dungeon. Ears to the ground for the troll's blood.
That'd be funny, actually. What are the topics you got, Joshua?
Scott, list it out, man. Scott's the he's got the suit on. He's looking good.
Let's talk about the potions, the healing changes.
Okay, so the actual healing changes. I think it's great. I think it slowed play down. They sort of reverted it back a little. They made it a little less punishing. I like bandaging. I like potioning. I feel like you can now kind of move, like you can like scoot between fights with the potion going, so it lasts, like 20 seconds or what have you. Throw a bandage on. I like that the recoverable health is like 65 or 80% of what you get hit by.
That was a huge change.
That was a
good compromise. Huge bard buff. Out of all the bard nerfs, that one may have offset all of the nerfs they got. Like that was a huge buff to the bard.
The tranquility is huge now with the large amount of gray health running around.
Yep.
I think my 200 HP barbarian, and I'm have like 60, 70% gray HP, and like 1 tranquility just heals it all. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, that's
Cleric can't do that.
We just need lower tiers of protection potions. I think for like 6 gold, we need like a 6 or 8 prot potion. Because right now, all the time, I'm just in the shop. I'm just pushing with my 20 damage shield, and I know I can eat like the first blow and then out trade them. That's a big difference. Like most people don't have any. So I have a 20 base shield plus my cleric shield plus all my buffs. Like it's a lot.
How do we feel about vendors in general? It's very frustrating.
There's too many.
Yeah.
Well, no, just that like you can't get a lot of pots from the vendor. You can't like your vendors sell out of Francesca's.
I hate that.
Sell out of traps, even though I hate traps.
Yeah.
But no, that's more frustrating than just not being able to get basic supplies to go into a raid.
Right.
Like, my woodsman has no campfires. I can't. I have to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
I swap characters and now I'm fine with it, but I think most players are not going to be fine with that. And to be honest, I'm not fine. Like sometimes if I drop in, I lose right away. Like actually, crazily enough, in my HR Goblin, I had full purples. There's a spot, there's like a hole that you drop down into, and then inside is a bunch of skeletons and a skeletal elite mage. I actually lost my gear set to PvE. And I was like, within like the first 2 minutes of the raid, I just dropped down, ate a fireball, ate like the axe hit, I'm dead. Wow, like I just survived 4 hours in PvP and I can't PvE. But I'm like, that's okay. Like we go again. And I go to my alchemist and he's got no potions. I'm like, man, I gotta wait like 25 minutes before I can go again. Like, that part's frustrating.
Yeah, it feels bad.
I feel like they're trying to connect it to quests for like the season 1 content patch. I think we're gonna get quests. They already said reputation, so that to me is Tarkov. We will have unlockables, and in the past playtest, you could buy like green, blue, and purple potions. and then they slowly cut it back. I feel like if I do 25 quests for Alchemist, like suddenly I can buy like blues, and if I do 50 quests, I can buy purples. And like that's just a bad example. I just threw out random numbers.
I can
But
like
if
that.
if it's reputationally based and we can buy better and better stuff, I feel like they're there. That's works for Tarkov, and I think it works for this game. It can't be the same level of craziness where like we're just out wealthing people after like 2 days of questing. But like if it goes up a certain amount or they add more stock, if my alchemist has like 20 gray potions every 30 minutes, if I do like 10 quests for him, I like that.
I get behind that. If they could fix vendors and buff vendors in a way with quests, that's a potential solution. I like that idea.
Yep, same. Good take.
But get rid of traps though, off the vendors. Totally 100%. I hate this.
Just get rid of. Actually, I like one of the people in my chat said, now when we step in a trap, we should have to do Sudoku to get out.
Oh yeah,
Minesweeper. Minesweeper would be more appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
We had 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, I had a 4 in the corner.
Did they like ninja buff trap damage? Does it feel like
they had to have? Yeah.
I'm stepping on traps and I'm like, I'm half HP, and now I have to find the trap on the ground.
Where did my health go? Yeah, 30%. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So my big hot take for traps, you should no longer be stuck. If you step in a trap, you are slowed for 3 seconds by 15%, and you take like 2.5 seconds of bleed damage. It's just a slow, it's a hindrance, but it's not like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah, it should either be a snare with no damage or damage with no snare. Like one or the other, but like damage with snare. It's like, it's just a death sentence. Doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah. I liked. I stepped in one and I was in the door frame, and before my cleric could shut the door, I got slow hands. I already took the triple shot and I died, and I was like, I couldn't have played that any different. Like, sure, if I saw it, and but like for me, it's like I have to have a lantern out or like a Molotov and be looking down, and I'm already like vulnerable to getting the triple shot at that point. And now if I step in it, like either way, I feel like I'm dead.
If the only like counterplay to traps is every single doorway you go through in Dark and Darker, you have to be looking at the ground, I don't think that's sure you can do that, but that doesn't sound like fun gameplay for every player in the game to do, just to be staring at the ground on every doorway, on every staircase, over every dead body.
And if you watch Spud, he puts like 3 traps there. He also, right now there's the bug where if you shoot your arrow, you can place the trap on the arrow. So now it's like any height, anywhere in the game, like any wall. It's nuts, man. Actually, I played Ranger and started Wipe. I didn't really care for it, but like,
man,
I don't know. I got 15 pretty quick. But yeah, you shoot an arrow at like head height, and then you can place your trap on the arrow and then take the arrow away and then turn off the lights. And so now when someone chases you, you just crouch under your own trap and then they walk into it because it's at head height.
Yeah, it's a good video on YouTube. It's a guy breaking down the trap piece.
Man.
Nothing worse than like hearing a trap. You hear an archer trap. Oh, later trap. Like, oh, I see the trap. You're like, all right, I'm gonna outplay this. You run in, you jump over the trap. You see a second trap. Oh, I got you. You almost had me there. Jump over the second trap, hit the third trap. And you're like, oh my god, I hate this game, dude. I hate this game.
That's the sound of you dying.
If I hate this game, I mean I love this game, but I just hate Rangers.
Yeah. I like somebody in my chat said you need to be able to smack the trap to set it off. I think that's great. If we can throw it,
you should be able to spring
a lantern. Yeah, like that I think is good play. Yeah, because now at least we can like pressure after that. The issue is like Rangers used to be really weak and they needed traps because they just got outplayed nonstop. But now that they have plus 10 power on spear and the triple shot and the shotgun, like they're a strong class.
Yeah,
I don't think they don't necessarily need it, or they have to take a perk to like make the trap decent or something. I don't know. Like right now the perk is just set it 50% faster. Set it so like the perk makes it so you get stuck, or like I don't like something. Like rogues had to take a perk to get a hand crossbow. Right. So like nerf the traps, but then allow the ranger to take a perk to unnerf themselves.
So tell me if you think this is a good idea or not. I was talking about this with chat the other day. I think they should just take traps away from rangers. I think rangers should be a pure bow / spear like range class, and give traps to a different subclass, maybe a hunter that has maybe a weaker bow, maybe the hunter that can only use survival bows and crossbows.
Like that. Yeah,
but they have like a subgenre of traps and like that's different really kinds of traps. Maybe traps could be for that class, but not the ranger, because the ranger is already so strong without them.
I love that perk. You call it like like bear trapping, and you can use bear traps, but like the weight of them means you can only use the survival bow like that. I think that's great.
If I step in a trap and I'm only getting shot by a serve bow, doesn't feel as bad. Serve bows, they don't really hurt that much.
They hurt, but it's no longbow. It's no Robin Hood.
It's no winning one shot in the body.
It's no getting sieged.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. It
I'm
came
not
to
sure
my head.
either.
I was like,
yeah.
It would be cool to have a hunter type class though, like, different from the ranger, has a different play style. I don't know. What do you think, Scott?
Feels really similar.
Similar to ranger.
It feels too similar. I think your earlier idea was probably a little more superior to that. In that if you number one, you nerf armor pen a little bit. And then if you take the traps and say, all right, if it's going to root you, then you're going to take minimal, like 5 HP damage. Or it's going to do damage and you're not going to be rooted. It's just going to be a slow. I think if you do that and get the traps in the right spot, then you can leave them on the ranger. The only reason I'm against the hunter idea is I just feel like, well, you did say that you could do more to it, but just kind of the way you described it right now, if it's just the difference is survival bow and traps, that seems like with all the different character classes they're wanting to introduce, like that would be pretty far down the list, I think. And because you're then into a substantially similar subtype for that class.
I
feel like.
do that.
Yeah, I agree as well. Especially because I feel like with season 1 coming, we get druid and a fleshed out warlock, and then probably
I'm
quests,
so stoked for that.
Maybe Kuma's raid. I don't know. Like that sounds close-ish to me, but I could be wrong.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, like I like what they said about the amount of wipes. So they're trying to go, get to 3-month wipes, but on the way there, we might wipe like 2 or 3 more times or so, for economy and balancing. I like that idea. I feel like it's fine to wipe right now. Like this wipe right now, I feel like was needed. And since the wipe, it's felt way more balanced to me, like across the board. Like
I agree.
This is a good wipe. There's too many hackers, but that is what it is. We'll get there. I feel like as far as hackers go, this game needs to be even better at countering them than Tarkov. Because in Tarkov, when you lose
that's
a kit,
pretty low bar. Jeez,
it's
dude.
like
it's like a
whatever.
really low bar.
Like you get another kit, but in Dark and Darker, especially with limited stash space, and you're kind of always building your kit. Like now, when I die to a hacker, I'm like, there goes like 4 hours of kit building. Like that actually
has that happened often to you guys? I haven't seen much, but I'm also not going high roller as much as you guys. So
yeah, the hacking's bad in high roller. It's not so bad when you're playing normals because all the hackers go where the money is because they're usually RM tiers.
Right.
So, and right now I'm playing mostly normal, so I'm kind of avoiding it. But I have run into one hacker so far this wipe, like one egregious one.
Was it the damage hack or were they ESP?
Yeah,
damage hack.
Yeah, just a fighter in full grays. Yeah, well, you can't tell if somebody's ESP. That's the thing, right?
I mean, like
unless they're wiggling.
Like the second guy killed me, and he came around the corner and went straight for the portal. Like the second I died, because we were running out of time in HR Goblin. So I feel like he had ESP. Like he knew the portal was there, and he knew I was camping it. And he one-shot me. And it was funny because actually when we started that lobby, somebody was like, "This guy right here is hacking," and I went and looked at him, and it was a fighter with a blue falchion. And I feel like every hacker I've come across is a fighter with a blue falchion.
They're all fighters with falchions. It's actually weird. It's like the old cheater with like barbarians and wormholes. Now it's fighters with falchions.
Mm-hmm. And so it happened to me twice in a row last night, which was bad. But like Chad helped me out and gave me gear back. So, but if they didn't, like, I would feel bad because it took me like.
Chad's saying Ruins is full of hackers right now. So Chad's saying
Ruins.
So I haven't been on Ruins, so.
Didn't they remove the treasure pile? Wait, Nate, do you know what the old rusty key does?
No.
I don't either. Like my chat keeps asking, and I just assumed it was like a room with some chests and loose loot since the treasure pile's gone. But they told me the old treasure pile room is just like a locked door. So I don't know what that thing does. Maybe it does nothing.
Unlucky.
I mean, I never.
That would be a
get
shame.
keys anyway, I got one key all last wipe and 0 this wipe.
I saw some
really good
dude
at fighting the worm though. That's like the coolest monster in the game, I think.
Worm is pretty cool. Yeah, it's relatively easy to beat, but
yeah. Well, for me, all my classes are melee oriented, so it's not easy. Like I gotta like puddle play and then jump over him. But I think that's a really cool monster.
Yeah, if you got move speed, that I still feel like melee. If you have move speed, I've soloed on my bard and I think was the other one? Maybe my Cleric, actually. But let's just say for sure, I remember Bard, I went in there, and I die every time I come out because there's always a party of 3 waiting for me to come out from killing the worm because they think I might have a key. But yeah, I had a lot of luck with the worm. That would be a shame if the rusty key thing is no more, or if it's dropping a rusty key and it takes you to a door that does nothing. That's even worse.
Right.
But yeah, I watched a dude. He did a YouTube video. He killed the worm 100 times. He got the key 5 times.
That's actually good because it's 2% drop rate.
drop.
So that's like 2.5x over the drop rate.
Yep.
That's really good.
To touch back on hackers, I've run into a couple. It's not like running rampant, and I think, and I've always reported them, and I've always gotten messages later saying that they've been banned. So Iron Mace is definitely on it. They're definitely banning these people who are cheating. They're taking a hit. It's so far better than Tarkov. So far.
Plus, like my chat said, at least we can spectate them and know. Dude,
that's the biggest part. Yeah, that's the biggest part, I think.
I went into the calculations, man. I looked at every piece of his gear. I added up all his strength. Like I pulled out the calculator. I was like, no way did I just get one shot with a blue falchion. Like, I'm kidded, man. And I had a blue pot. I like ran the numbers. I was like, I have 122 HP plus all my armor. Like, you know, I ran like all his numbers. I multiplied it, assuming it was a headshot. I was like, this doesn't add up to 122. Like, it can't. And then I sent it to the devs. And the devs reviewed it, and they were like, banned. And I was like, thank God, get him out. $35 down the drain for that guy. Hopefully, he didn't make it as much mining. I don't know RMT prices, but you know, like last wipe, it was like 1,000 gold was $3. That's a lot of mining to get back to 35.
That's a lot of money. Yeah,
that's a lot of money. That's like
no
what?
Kidding.
It's like 10,000 or 12,000.
That's a good afternoon right there.
I like that they're coming at HR to mine. Like, I don't get that. Like, HR is also like the deadliest place. So I don't know if people are just. I will say what's funny is that I consistently run across people crouching to be friends, and for me, crouch equals duel. So I'm just fighting every player in Gabo, but like everybody wants to be friends in there, and there's no portals. Like at the end, we had 4 people and 1 portal, and it was so awesome. I killed like the other 3 players with like 22 seconds on the clock. I just started slaying. I like cast all my spells. I threw all my Molotovs, and I got in the portal like last second. I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how that would have played out otherwise. Like whoever just steals it wins.
Yep. Well, hey, we didn't mention VoIP. So you're talking about all the crouching. Are you getting a lot of people using VoIP to try to make friends, or are they just crouching?
Yeah. Way more today. Yeah, yesterday I felt like not so much. Nobody had it on, but today there's a lot. There's also a lot of teaming, which I think a lot of people are getting mad, but I love teaming. I love betrayals. Like, I love the whole system of VoIP. Like earlier, I was at a campfire in Goblin, and like up and to my right, like half a module away, I heard someone just screaming, and he was like, "No, not me, the fighter!" And then I heard like magic missiles going off, and then somebody was like, "Die!" Like I don't know, like just the echoing sounds of combat and noise like through the dungeon is great.
VoIP is so good.
VoIP
have any fun VoIP interactions that like stick out?
Yeah, a lot.
Got any?
Way more than. Yeah, like earlier I gave a bard a luck potion, and I told him he had to sing music for me in the dungeon. I meant like team with me, but the guy just literally started singing. It was like just in his mic, just singing in the pregame lobby, and like everyone came around and sat, and this guy was just up like karaoke. I don't know, it was great. That one was fun. And then,
sorry,
go ahead. Yeah, you tell one.
Well, I was yesterday. It was a 3v3 on Crypt map. We were battling. 2 of my teammates died. We killed 2 of their teammates, and me and this last guy were just 1v1ing. And like I pulled back to heal. I was playing my Cleric. I was healing a little bit, and as I was running away to heal, I ran into another 3-man, and I turned back into the guy, and I'm like, "There's a 3-man. We have to team up." And I started healing him, and then he just kills me. But anyway, but I was like, almost. It could have been.
At least there's a shot, right?
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Absorb our own teams.
I'm like, we're friends now. Nah, dude.
The other one I really liked is I found a barbarian that was really strong. He had like cobalt gloves, like a purple double axe. And I was like, you and I will pocket heal you. And we just like rampaged around the dungeon. And everybody we came up against, we killed a fighter that was actually really kitted. He came in my chat like pissed. And he was like, Teamy and Goblin, like this place is meant for solos. And I was like, I don't know, like VoIP kind of changed the game. I really like it. And we just split his gear. Like that aspect to me of being able to team is fun. And then like you said, you can get betrayed on the other side of it. Like you never know. But for me, compared to Tarkov, like Tarkov, you can carry a lot of stuff. Here, it's really limited. Like basically, you have to split someone's gear if they're fully kitted and they bring all their potions. So I feel like teaming is a little bit more rewarding in this game, and people are more likely to do it. Also, I got
West
3v1
Coast, right?
earlier. Yeah, well, I play all coasts. I swap
Okay.
queues.
I want to know which queue to
so
avoid in the Goblin Cave, the one where you're at, so I
East
don't
and
get
West.
betrayed.
Also,
East
if
and
you're running
West.
into a lot of hackers, they mostly hang out on the West Coast servers because of the ping.
The ping and the queue, yeah, especially late night. Like it was really very rare to get a full lobby. I played all night last night, and both of the hackers were on West Coast.
Yeah. So if you're having issues, maybe we go east or go Brazil or something.
I told Grayson though, I'm just gonna sack my sets. Each time I kill a hacker, I feel like I took $35 of RMT off the market. So
Yeah.
What a martyr.
Yeah, fucking. It's balancing the karma for all my crouch equals duels. It's really fun too because like I start crouching and they crouch. And I'm like, yes, brother, crouch equals duel, and then they crouch again, and then they always stop after that. They're like, wait, what? And then I'm just like fighting them. Almost always like.
It's funny because most people think crouch is like, oh, we're friends, right?
Yeah, it's actually really good content and super fun. And like I always play music when I win. I don't know, it's been great.
Slimy, dude, slimy over here tricking the Timmies.
I am covered in the goblin grease, right? My set is worth like 5 to 10K. I don't want to be friends. Like my thing is any emote means duel, but VoIP, like VoIP equals friends. Because I don't know, I like to hear what people are saying. I really like the people that are begging as well, or they're like, I'm in base gear, and I'm like, get out of my goblins in base gear, you rat. Bring good gear.
I got trapped in a cave. Like they locked me in a room and they just did me through the wall yesterday, VoIPing, talking shit for like 3 minutes because I was out healing him with potions and my cleric is healing and using clarities and lesser heals, and they were just Europeans, obviously very toxic European players, just talking shit to me the entire time while they did me through a wall and they locked me in this room, and it was really funny. I was like, I can't be mad about this. This is hilarious.
Let me out.
Were you live when that happened? Can I go back and catch that on your stream?
Yeah,
okay,
that was definitely live.
This is good.
Oh man,
I will definitely check that out.
VoIP's good. I don't know why. Do we know why we didn't have VoIP for the first 2 weeks?
I think it was Steam. Like I think they set up VoIP through Steam, and maybe the rights with Chaff Games or something didn't work. Like who knows?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I don't know a specific reason.
I didn't realize how much I missed it until it came back. Like, oh yeah,
same.
Yeah.
Because we're playing Dark Universe.
Yeah, like I like that they said this isn't a content patch, but there's going to be something that you all have been missing, and then
everybody knew.
Everybody knew. And we were like, we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
let's talk more future
tournament.
Yes.
Yeah. So the tournament future. Obviously, all the tournaments are coming back, a lot of the different formats, but now we have a new format, which we've never had before. I'm not hosting this one, but I'm happy to be a part of it. Nate, I think you're coming as well.
I'm on the fence, but yeah, I'm thinking about it.
On the fence? All right, I'll pull you down. So the upcoming creator tournament is a $300 cash cup, and it's going to take place over 2 days. You will be randomly assigned a team, and your team has 3 lives. After you have lost 3 lives, every death after that is permadeath. So you could end up with 1 player at the end, like trying to carry, what have you. And the way it works is each kill is 100 points, and every piece of gold is 1 point. So you're going to be selling things to the merchants. You're going to be going for treasure, maybe bossing, maybe PvPing. No matter what you do, you're getting points. And I think that format is great. I think a team could be eliminated their first game. Well, I guess not the first game. Well, yeah, theoretically, you could actually res like 1 or 2 of your teammates and then full wipe, and that's permadeath. I think that system's really fun. I would be excited to watch the VODs. Plus, there's only 6 teams or 5 or 6 teams competing. And I like the randomization factor. I like that you can't double stack classes. So we're just going to see, like, I don't know. I think some groups will probably go ruins and just try to play safe. Some groups will try to maybe go boss. But everybody has to have level 1s. So it's kind of that 0 to hero, kind of permadeath. It's got like a little hints of every other tournament in it. And so for me, that's going to be exciting.
Did you say this is already booked? This is already on the calendar?
This is on the calendar. This is next weekend.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I might have to do it. It sounds kind of cool. It sounds interesting, at least.
Yeah, like I think it's a good way to meet the other creators as well. Like Orlanthe's coming, and I think JG got invited, Katie, Nizori. Like a lot of the people I watch, Mark Shrum, are probably going to be there. And so I'd be curious to see like how people mesh. And of
it's
course,
gonna be interesting to see like the different strategies. It's like a different kind of tournament. Like we've had kill races in the past and like 1v1 tournaments, but this is like, let's see who could devise how to to get the most gold without dying. Like
Yeah.
it's a real rat tournament if you think about it.
It's a real rat tournament, and the fact that we get the teams ahead of time means you can kind of practice. And so I think it would be fun to like each day for like 2 hours be like, hey, let's try out a couple different comps at level 1 and see if we can't get to Inferno and boss. Because like if you kill the boss, that's treasure pile, that's money.
Could you imagine like the best teams as being like a bunch of rat rogues pickpocketing?
Yeah, but you can only have one of each
do it.
class. So like
Uh,
I wonder what happens. Like you just let one rogue, like he just goes.
yeah, rogue.
Like JG just
You have
goes to pick
Bard,
pots, and then
Song of Shadow, invisibility pots.
yeah, I like that actually. I like the Bard play, the invisibility play, the camping. It's gonna be pretty ratty. Like I think there's gonna be some teams that W key and some teams that rat, and they're both viable.
That's cool. Interesting. I like that. This game needs tournament servers. I have been saying this for months now.
Yep.
Once this game has tournament servers,
man.
this game is such a fun one to spectate that like if they have actual organized tournaments with a spectator tool on tournament servers, like people are gonna eat it up. People are gonna love it.
Yep.
Me
100%. Yep.
Hopefully
I'm
it's like
all
on the
in.
roadmap somewhere because
It's got to be.
has to be.
So speaking of roadmap and competition, when do we think the leaderboard's gonna release?
Well, they haven't said anything yet, but if we're going off what they did last time, was it 6 days last season? They give us
That
6 day
sounds
grace
right.
period. It
Yep,
started on the
it
weekend, the Friday
sounds
night or something.
6 or 7. Yeah, I think that's right.
Which I think that's a fine number.
Our wipe was Monday, so we got a little while, we think.
I think they have to do something about the leaderboards in general. I think just having 24/7 leaderboards for 3 months isn't healthy. People are gonna complain. I think they have to make it a smaller time window in general. I think that either you could do a shorter time window where it's a week-long high roller grind, or you just have it's a 3-month season, and the high roller tracking starts on Friday, ends on Sunday, and then the rest of the week, you don't have to worry about high roller, you just play the game.
Right.
So
yeah, I like that
I feel like
too.
a lot of people a lot of the grinders, a lot of like the hardcore sweaty nerds, they feel like they have to play high roller all the time and try hard. And sometimes they just like want to play the game for fun, and they can't do that because they have to grind.
Yeah. Totally get that. Yeah, I think that's a good call out, having limited time. The only thing you run into with the limited time deal is if you got people, there's always going to be someone that's getting excluded, right? There's always an exception to the rule. You got people that work weekends that are not going to be able to get in the same amount of time, right? I think a week at a time is probably reasonable. Maybe every other week is another option, right? Like just give you some downtime. Just make it so that people don't feel like they have to grind 24/7 for an extended period of time. So maybe alternate weeks. And maybe you're alternating, maybe that's a solution to our earlier problem as well, where we're talking about splitting up the queues. Maybe you only have one HR open at a time. So this week it's Forgotten Castle HR, next week it's Ruins HR, next week it's Gabo HR, and now you're split up, and then you cycle through.
I don't hate that idea actually, but the underlying theme being we should definitely have downtime in between high roller sessions. Whatever numbers they decide to end on, there should be just some downtime.
Yep. Hey, Soma popped into the chat and verified what you guys were saying about why VoIP was not there. He said they had to work out a new legal contract with their VoIP provider, and it wasn't ready in time for EA launch. So
beautiful. There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Someone with the inside scoop.
I think he's tomorrow with the hotfix.
He's a man in the know.
We're gonna get like the duos map and a hotfix. I feel like we'll get a reset counter on leaderboard. Like I don't see any reason why it wouldn't start on Friday. So probably tomorrow is hotfix plus like announcement that leaderboard opens Friday. You have like 24 hours to prepare, and then I think that's fine.
I guess I could see that. Yeah,
I agree with Scott as well. I don't think we can have weekend only leaderboarding because people work weekends. And like the thing is that there's really no incentive to leaderboard other than the leaderboard itself. And so I don't really feel like they need to limit the amount of time that can be that people can leaderboard. I just think that people that want to meme and they want to play the game can play the game, and those that want to leaderboard will grind. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal unless you're a leaderboarder. But like I don't know how you would limit that and keep it fair for everybody. I think it has to be open all the time. Well, maybe just let's not have 3-month seasons. Let's have 1-month seasons, and then you guys can take like a season off.
Maybe.
The issue is most of you won't take a season off. Like even if it's 1 month at a time, like you're either prepping to leaderboard by HRing or you're leaderboarding.
Yeah, I know.
I think you just got to set a better schedule for yourself. Like I do 4 hours of HR Gobbo per day, and then I meme for like 2 to 4 hours.
And that's why you won't be ranked 1 wizard ever.
All right.
I knew that was coming.
All right.
That was coming.
Yeah, I walked into that one. That was like a ranger trap.
Skill check. Ranger trap.
I'm dead.
All right, fellas, we're 70 minutes in. Are we ready for some Q&A?
Yeah, let's do some Q&A.
Yeah,
my chat's been saying all kinds of cool stuff. I like they said that rogues shouldn't have invisibility; they should have dark vision. I like that idea. That idea is hot.
So like they just can't be seen inside of the darkness.
No, like they already have the
see
perk
other
to remove
people in the
potions,
dark.
right? And so they can see better in the dark than any other class. I think that's great.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and then they can hide this shit on their belts with potion hider, and now they're basically invisible anyway. Except I can like see them if I have a lantern or something.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, like that's a fantastic idea.
You can give them that. You could still let them have hide, but make it so they can't move while hidden. So like, if they want to go invisible in a lit room, they can't move. You know, they have to like pick their position well, and they have to commit to it. But then they also have like the backup plan of just hiding in a dark room, having dark vision. That's actually a really good idea. Because I've been thinking about this for a while. Because I'm like, I don't want to ruin the rogue class. Because I know rogue players, they have a lot of fun. But rogues also make the game miserable for most other players. So I'm like, how could you fix it without ruining rogue as a whole? And that's actually not a bad idea.
Yep.
Like, I might write that one down.
What do we got, chat? Any good questions?
Trying to pull up Ken's stream right here.
No, not a question, but is this Bradley Cooper on the podcast referring to you?
That's Chadley. That's Chadley Cooper.
Either one of you. Could it be? Honestly, it could be either one of you. Yeah.
I don't ever get confused with Bradley Cooper. Occasionally, I get Aaron Rodgers, but never Bradley.
I can see Aaron Rodgers definitely. Yeah. Now that you said that, I'll never unsee it. We got Aaron Rodgers, Chadley Cooper, and Machine Gun Nobby.
Yeah, Josh is like Hangover Bradley Cooper, and then we got like American Sniper Bradley Cooper Scott over here. That's funny though.
All right, Josh, your chat's 1 for 1 on the rogue suggestion. What else you got? Okay, he left. Oh, he's back.
No,
all right, I just want to grab a little more coffee. He's always here. Just at a distance. Not too many questions this time around. Oh, boosted XP rates on tournament servers? That'd be cool. They said they should replace leaderboard once in a while and just do a tournament leaderboard. I definitely feel like, I know I talked about Soma. I talked to Soma about this as well, is that like a progressive tournament system, it would need a lot of back end. We would need like several admins working on it in Excel sheets, but we could do like a month-long tournament series where weekly, let's say on Saturdays and Sundays, there's like 1 to 2 hours of tournament play, and you gain points. And then at the end of the season, you have a semifinals and finals. And then we have like one big prize pool and like one big turnout. And I think for a game like this, that would be great. And I'm like, I take a lot of what I do from my past experience shoutcasting, and then also like talking to It's Timmy and how they scrim for Apex like 4 to 6 hours a day. People don't think this game is esports, but like this game is esports, man. It's the circle moving, it's outplay, it's ambushing, like it's class composition, it's so many things. And I already feel it this season. I don't know if it's the class balancing or the economy changes, but there are way more people alive at End Circle. Like there's constantly like 3 to 5 people at End Circle and goblins fighting. That feels like a battle royale to me, and it feels really good.
Yep. Agreed.
And I think it's gonna get more and more like that. Like one day,
I think you can pull that off.
In Goblin at End Circle.
I think you can pull off what you just said if you have the tournament servers. I don't think we can make it esporty as long as there's you're just dropping in with random Timmies and it's going to be too difficult, I think, to try to do it tournament style. I do like the idea. If we have tournament
servers, it works, right? Because like we already
right.
have
That's what I mean. Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and then that is going to be great because then we can also scrim, and we know Guild Wars is coming. I talk about it all the time. For me, that's like my most favorite feature is the thought of a 9v9. I like just the spells, the healing, the call outs, the shoutcast. Like, oh my god.
Let's walk before we run, man. Like, can we go to 5v5 next? Like, running, you're just tripling up. You're just going 3x.
Man. I'm there.
No, this game is made for esports. Not in the sense where like it's like 100% balanced and like super competitively balanced, but in the sense that it is a spectacle to watch. With like that even if it's not 100% balanced, people will tune in just to see what shenanigans happens in these events because it is just so enjoyable. There's so much variance and like when fights happen, it's intense and there's lots of skill expression. Yeah, it's made for it.
Yeah, like the ragdolling, the team killing, the fact that when you're really close to a teammate, sometimes you don't know if they're on your team despite the name tags. And like in a 9v9, you're gonna have that all over the place. The front line is gonna be like just swinging. You're gonna have war mauls. Just I don't know if you guys saw, but Nate released like a 1-minute video. He just dropped a war maul and one shot his teammate. That's gotta happen in fucking Guild Wars. People are gonna be mishealing the enemies. Like one small misplay, you're gonna have lightning strike. I don't know.
Imagine those moments happening like in a esports setting with like shoutcasters commenting on it, and then cut to like the next squad, and it's just a rogue just sitting watching the fight, just waiting for his opportunity, pickpocketing, who knows? Just there's so much shenanigans that goes on in Dark and Darker that it'd be amazing.
It reminds me a lot of Albion, because in Albion they have like 10 versus 10s, and I think it even goes higher than that. And when you have people stomping, they can basically just ram through the enemy team and it's full loot, right? So when the other squad, like let's just say they lose all 10, they're like, let's not regear. Like this is they outskill us. And the same thing happens in Dark and Darker. Like a lot of times you either rampage over a team or you just get like ambushed and you're full wiped. Or you have those like actually good moments with straight skill expression, like equal comps. There's the healing, the outplays, the headshots. Like I feel like I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I hope we're going in that direction. I really do.
Yeah. Plus hideouts, like all the cool stuff. Anyway, back to the Q&A. The slingshot weapon, they've already said that they're going to develop that. Yeah,
what they
slingshot
have?
for clerics.
Oh, that'd be cool. For clerics?
Yep.
Why clerics?
Because we need to be able to kill Goliath.
Yeah, we need buffs. Ken, we talked about this earlier. We clearly need buffs.
Probably nerf the wizard more and give cleric slingshot.
I mean, I hate buffing rangers, but that seems like a ranger weapon or a hunter weapon.
Thrower.
So it's a hunter weapon.
And then so imagine you're holding life click, and when you release, it lets it go, and you just see clerics walking around just fucking boloing.
Like those little goblins.
I hate those things. They're terrible.
Slingshot would be cool. It doesn't sound like a fun weapon type. Make it universal.
I like this question from my chat. How do you guys feel about shape shifting?
I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
The idea of it, cool, right? Shapeshifting turn into a bear turn, whatever shape if you want. Sounds awesome. Yep. But I'm like, how are they going to balance that? How much development time is it going to take to make these shapeshifts work? And when they do get to work, is it going to break the game? So, I mean, I'm worried. I feel like Druid, I feel like hate me. Druid definitely isn't the next class you should work on. It is probably the hardest class to make in all of
That's a fair take.
Yep. One of the hardest classes to make out of all of D&D lore. They're biting off a huge bite, and I hope they make it work. I'm worried. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree with that, actually.
The exact
same. That's a hot take. I do feel like maybe if they finish it, we're at like the top of the roller coaster. Mm-hmm. And then like when I look at things like Paladin and Sorcerer, those just seem like reskins. I use that term lightly, but like kind of a reskinned Cleric and like a reskinned sort of Warlock Wizard.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that they're diving into the harder class. I can also see if they're going to release if they're releasing to Steam and consoles, they're going to have like a big release trailer. Like imagine like an actual like 2.5-minute trailer for Dark and Darker. And you had like a bear form druid like pawing out, like half a team just dies and gets ragdolled. Or like someone's on the run and they turn into a wolf to chase them. They turn into a dire wolf. That sounds cool.
It does sound cool. It does sound cool,
man. Maybe drop some roots, some thorns. I don't know. That class seems
very ambitious. Very ambitious.
Yeah, they're gonna have to have something like entangled thorns. That's like a druid staple.
Yeah, they gotta have thorns.
I would love to see them maybe just work on easier classes first, maybe like a monk or a priest, a sorcerer, paladin. There's like some easier classes that you already kind of built foundation for, which might be smarter, a little more reserved, but I do get it. Bears and tigers are cool. I understand. But any other classes you guys like are excited for that you want them to work on? I always say monk. When people ask me, I say monk, I say sorcerer.
I agree.
I say necromancer, but like they already said they didn't want to do that, but they said they don't want to do all kinds of stuff. They said they didn't want to do solos, so look what we got. They said definitely not duos. We're about to have duos tomorrow. I feel like we get necromancer.
I want to see
summon
kicks.
some little monsters. Summon some like death beetles or like a skeleton. Even if it's a meme class that's like shit, I would love to play that class.
That would be cool. I think
Maybe
I'm with
you get
you.
a passive perk where like skeletons don't attack you if you don't attack them first. You can kind of just like walk around the map.
That'd be cool.
Just hang out.
Nate, I'm with you on the monk. I want to see kicks in the game. I want to see feet flying around. I think that would be like just absolutely hysterical. The memes, the memes of the kicks to the face and the ragdolls that ensue are just going to be outstanding.
I like that a lot.
Getting ignited by your wizard and you have fire kicks, baby.
Fire kicks.
Man, let's go.
All right, so left click is punch and right click is kick, but you can only kick when you're above someone. So you have to like jump on a torch and then drop kick them, or like jump on a crate and then like. And so the monks are always just parkouring like rogues.
Now you ruined it for me.
Karate kickers.
You compared it to a rogue. It's all over.
Make double jump great again.
So what do you guys think about fall damage? Chatter asks. You think we should have fall damage in the game? Do you think?
I think there should be a minimal amount. Actually, I think you should make a noise when you drop from more than a story. There should be an pretty audible sound.
Okay, I agree with that.
And it should be a tiny amount of fall damage, not a lot, but enough that it would make you think twice about jumping. If you know you're going to take, even if it's just 5 points of damage, and you're slowed, and it's going to make a noise. Because the jumping around, especially like on ruins, like you're just jumping off the top of the castle and falling. I don't know how many stories that is, 2 or 3, and just I've been dive bombed by an entire team as I'm just walking by, and 3 guys are just right behind me that jumped off the roof, or the ramparts, whatever. I think
I like minimal damage, whatever number it is, just a small amount, and the idea
minimal,
is actually a very, very, very good idea.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I've always been against fall damage, but if it's minimal damage and a Q, I'm game with it. Like someone dropped right next to me from like 3 stories up in Goblin, a plate fighter, and hit me with a crossbow. I was like, I don't know, man. Like I heard nothing, and I'm gonna have like 20% HP already at the start of this fight. Like he's in plate. That one I agree with. I think that would be fine. I do feel like if we add minimal damage, we should maybe add some sort of system of like inertia damage, where if they fall from high enough, they do like an extra 5 or 10 damage.
Yeah, you could do a point per 10 feet or something like that per floor, right? Like 1 point of fall damage per floor that you're up, and then the slow would scale kind of in a similar fashion, and the noise would be
that would destroy me for like 2 weeks at the start of that wipe. I would die all the time. I would take so much damage. I jump everywhere. I'm always falling. I'm always trying to kill people with like a downswing from the top ropes.
Yeah, it is. But
you're part of the problem. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I guess. If it's audio and a couple damage, I guess it's fine.
Nothing too crazy.
But also, like when I get low on health, I like parkouring. Like I put my weapons away, and I'm like, okay, I gotta like torch jump to the wall, to the like back step onto the triple jump past the trap. I think if you're low on health, you kind of just are dead at that point. Like at least now, if you're low, you can sort of outplay it via parkour. If you take fall damage, like you kind of just killed lower health players.
I hear that.
It would be fun though if you hit somebody really hard and they're like one shot and they jumped off and they just like crumpled on the ground, and it just says like imagine the kill feed. I don't even know what it would say. Like they just killed themselves, and then it just shows like
gravity.
Like,
gravity killed so bad strange.
Died to the ground.
Yep.
So we're talking about druid and like potential new classes. Maybe we should talk about the unfinished class in the game, Warlock. What do you guys think? Like what spells and abilities would you like to see on Warlock going forward?
Well, earlier, so Josh, you mentioned what do you call it? Shadow Vampire build. I don't know. I'm guessing most people are familiar with that, but you might want to explain it for some of the folks that aren't. That's your build where you run Phantomize and Blow of Corruption, right? You're not running any spells. Is that right? Okay.
That's melee only.
So we need more spells. That's pretty obvious. So I think that build is even more appealing right now because we're so limited in the number of spells.
And there's not enough perks to go around. So like we definitely need like 3 to 5 more perks in general.
Yep.
I think as far as spells go, especially because we know it's going to be the darkness tree, like we need a cloud of darkness, like kind of like the rogue smoke, but you can cast it in AoE, you can target it.
Does it deal damage to enemy players?
No, I don't think so. Like it could if it's low, if it's like Locust, I think that could be fine if it's channeled. But I think both. Like you could have like some sort of leech that's like AoE channel, and then you can also just have a cloud of darkness that just sits like the zombie cloud almost, but for like I don't know 6 or 8 seconds. That could be game changing in and of itself. And then
So
I don't
our
know,
other casters,
they're already
like
strong.
Wizard and Cleric, have different tiers for their spells, right? That they got to spend spell points in. For Warlock, that the equivalent is basically the amount of health that you're dinged, right? Like your
We could also
blood
have both.
cost.
Yeah.
You could have both,
If we
but
did
I'm
like
trying
10
to think
spells
of
and one tree was dark and it has spell cap and knowledge based, and the other one's health based, that would actually be
okay.
super high skill cap.
Not bad. Yeah,
On the
actually, sounds
blood
cool, yeah.
magic
Yeah,
side,
that's really cool.
what would you imagine for like your earthquake caliber, your locust swarm caliber? What on the blood magic side would you imagine that to be? Like your nuke?
Big nuke.
I think
sure.
one that would be really cool is if you take X amount of damage from someone you're linked to, but you gain
Soul
life
Link, baby.
Soul Link, and you gain leech based on what they do. So like you give it to the fighter, and if they hit the enemy fighter, you just gained like 20% of that damage back as health. That would be nuts.
But you also take like a percent of the damage that your fighting takes.
Yeah, like it's got to be an uneven ratio as well. Like you got to take like 35% of the damage they take, but you gain 20% of the damage they deal. You could also put that on rogue, and then you just get all your health back. So the rogue's just like swinging like crazy. That one would be. It's not really like a nuke, but I don't know. Like I feel like Hellfire is a great nuke. Obviously, it's slow, but you can really outplay people with it, especially from Invis, especially from Bard Invis, because you can already have it precasted. I don't know. I'm constantly surprised. Like the whole Warlock class surprised me. I never imagined it would be what it is.
I'm not sure the Warlock is the nuking class. I don't think that's like what they're going for.
Yeah, I agree. Give them some more like weird little like leechy things and like debuffs, and it's gonna be like it's already strong. I think all three of the subclasses are strong at what it does.
We were talking about it earlier, Josh. Sorry to interrupt. I don't want to forget
please.
this. We were talking about, you brought it up that you think they should have a spell that strips buffs off of people.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Spell steal or just to rip buffs off of people. Just like
Plus,
the counter buff meta.
You can hit your own team and rip your own team spells off on accident. Like there's a lot of play and counterplay for that. And that also invalidates a lot of stuff. You could rip like the invisibility or haste from the wizard you're chasing. You could rip like the cleric buffs off. Spell steal would be kind of nuts.
I dig that. That's a good idea.
I've been saying maybe they should have some kind of a resurrect spell on the Warlock, where it's like you revive a dead ally, but they only come back for X amount of time, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, cool. And then once they expire, they die again. But
I like that.
If you find a portal in that time, you can get out, kind of thing.
Yeah, or you just like use that to like go closer to a res shrine, knowing they're about to die again. That one actually is really cool.
That'd be fun.
Raise ally or resurrect the dead, or like yeah. And then after 1 minute 20 seconds, they expire again, no matter how much health they have. That has a lot of weird play with it too. If you like raise the barb and then the barb has life after death. I guess it would have already triggered by then, but I don't know.
That's a funny.
Seen a lot of Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, everybody wants chat.
Eldritch Blast. It's the Warlock staple. You gotta have it. Yeah. I mean, we need.
Someone's been talking about that since Warlock was announced.
Yeah. Can't do it justice.
I mean, it would fit. It would fit in Dark and Darker for sure. They could totally do that. It could be like their cantrip or something. I don't know. Maybe not their cantrip. Warlocks don't even have cantrips. They don't even have mana. God, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
My chat said sacrifice health. I like that. You lose like 25 health and you give your target 15. That could work.
That's kind of cool.
Especially since you can siphon health, right? So like you just keep giving your team health. It would change the comp structure a little bit. Warlock could be like an off healer. Especially if they're really good at cursing and dotting.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I like that a lot. Sacrifice. It's like Darkfall Sacrifice. Remember that?
Yeah. Somebody in my chat said we should make fighters impervious to damage. They're too squishy.
Oh yeah.
Give them mobile barricade. 2 seconds they can make like a double pavis.
They should be able to dual wield shields. There we go.
Yeah. Carry 1 pavis per hand. Yep.
How do you guys feel about Pavisas? I don't pick them up anymore. Like there was a time when they were cool and they
never
were
see
used
them.
for like cheesing stuff, but like I don't. It doesn't even matter what the stats are. Like even if it's +3 all, I don't even pick it up. It's
Last
like 8
playtest
slots wasted.
last season there was a small Pavis meta, like this was most recent season because of Den of Darkness. So like the meta comp was fighter, bard, cleric, and basically the fighter would just run into a doorway, throw the Pavis on the ground, so you can't enter the room, and the bard would just din you through the wall, and it was miserable. But that was like a little small thing that was happening. That was very cheesy and silly. But yeah, I don't see it anymore. No one's Pavisi anymore. No Chads out there.
Nate, let me ask you about your schedule
ask.
before we close.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Arcane.
No, you're good. I was gonna say if there's anyone that knows what the current Pavis meta is, that's Orlanthi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, what are your hours right now? Are you full degen again, or are we kind of normalizing?
So I mean, this tonight particularly, I got like no sleep, but just because I got stuck editing stuff. But my schedule, I stream from like 9 p.m. to like 9 a.m. I go throughout the night. That's kind of my schedule. So yeah, that's pretty degen if you ask me. But if you ask like Europeans or people, in the Western world, no, it's a pretty normal time for them. I just
Right,
I like stream every night. I love stream every night. It's just better for me.
Yeah, I've done that in the past as well. The vampire hours are always really cool.
It is such for high roller lobbies. Lobbies won't fill up sometimes, which is kind of annoying. So I just play EU servers most of the time.
I swap around a lot. It's like, especially I feel like East Coast must have like double or triple the numbers of West Coast.
The East Coast is way more players for sure.
I wonder why that is.
Because all the hackers on the West Coast, I told you.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, for me, that's about all I had today. I'm excited for the future. I think that this wipe started off incredible. The VoIP is a phenomenal addition. I think there's more and more people using it every day. And looking forward to the upcoming tournament and tomorrow's hotfix for duos, and probably the release on the timer for high roller. I am making three clerics and 3 vampires, and each of them will have like 3 or 4 gear sets. That way I don't have to sit in trade guild. I'm prepped.
Oh yeah, dude, we're building the bank.
We're building. And now there's too many vampires, so I've swapped a cleric, and the cleric kills the vampire.
Yeah, like, the two opposites. It's like you have the evil and the light. That's cool.
All right, guys, it is a pleasure as always. I will see you next Wednesday. Keep holding the line.
GG's.
Hold the line. We'll see you guys.
And love. Take it easy, Scott.